Hello, Joe.
Hi, how are you?
Good to see you. Thanks for coming round and helping us with this little pilot. For this,
Thank you for having me.
These little jaunts we've got in mind. And really looking forward to hearing your songs as well. So, I've got some questions for you.
Go ahead.
Can I fire away?
Yeah.
One's really personal. You won't be surprised. To start, I was wondering what your first really positive musical memory might be.
Crikey.
Do you have one? Do you have any from you? I just remember.
Do you know what? Honestly, I think it's my first positive music memory is probably it must have been when you and Dad were doing the Ship of Fools thing.
Oh right.
And I remember being obviously exceptionally bored in the studio.
I remember you being bored a lot of the time.
Being very bored.
I was like, wanting to know.
And I remember John Remborn used to take me down to one of the studios where they had a drum kit. And I used to play with a hi-hat for a good, what seemed like hours at the time. But yeah, actually that still is probably one of my fondest memories.
Oh, so we can blame John Remborn for your first career.
Before into punk rock, yeah.
Sort of so what I was going to say, I mean, you have got two very distinct and separate musical identities, really, haven't you? And you've spent a long time on the non-acoustic one. Which do you prefer?
I don't think preferring is something I can really choose. I think my choice to go into the punk rock was just, I think, my standard teenage rebellion against what I'd been overexposed to from the age of 3 months to 13. So, yeah, I absolutely love that. But coming back round to the acoustic and finding my appreciation for it again, it's just been just as important adventure and important part of me.
Great. Do you, for you, can you sort of identify any connecting features between? Well, tell us first what the other genre is, because we haven't explained that. But anything that you can sort of see in common with the two genres.
I decided I got into a punk band, and I've toured doing that for 10 years now. Well, the touring mainly 6 years, but. I suppose trying to find comparison is not, on the face of it, it's not very easy. But I've found on many occasions that I'll be talking to when I've come into a situation where I'm back with the folky crew and stuff and talking about what I do. A lot of them will always be very quick to mention the fact that they were punk before punk. The folk was the punk of their day and stuff, and that was the rebellion.
Yeah, that's interesting.
That was the rebellion before people decided.
And it was a massive scene as well.
And then it was protest music before people got loud and spiky. And I think that in itself kind of is probably the biggest similarity, I suppose, as to what it did for the youth at the time. It'd be good if that had a resurgence while I'm adopting the folk side. But yeah, I suppose
good.
that's...
Well, I'm glad we found something.
Yeah.
What are your feelings about traditional song, the traditional song and music that you've heard in general?
Well, it's kind of always stood on the same level in the same place as a listener as a lot of the original stuff. Through my childhood, I probably wasn't really aware of where the line was, which were traditional and which were original. I didn't see an issue or a problem with either, to be honest, and I still don't see why a traditional song is necessarily more relevant than a recently written song. In fact, quite the opposite. But I think there's a definite important need for both of them to exist alongside.
That's partly what the whole idea of this project is about, really, sort of making those, or trying to remove some of those barriers, really, rather than saying one is better than the other.
Someone had to write the songs at some point.
Yeah,
and obviously traditional song was supposedly originated because there wasn't films, there wasn't TV, and there wasn't things. But it was a way of telling a story, and a way of someone to remember a story. And people still have a need to do that, even though there is other mediums. I think it's just as important and relevant.
Yeah. But have you got a traditional song in your repertoire yet? I know you were planning to.
No, I don't.
What happened?
It just hasn't clicked. I think I went into it quite cynically, I suppose. I think I kind of went into it to try and find a song to pleasing people, and I just don't think I'm there yet.
Oh, well, that's no good reason to do it, is it?
No, there's lots of songs that that I've heard over the years that have meant a lot to me, like some Peter Bellamy ones and stuff like that, which just from when I was again growing up as a kid that you and Dad sang that that really resonated with me. But I just haven't been able to kind of create a version that clicks with me yet.
Okay.
But I'm sure in the long term something will appear.
Well, don't bust a gun. You're doing all right. If I can come out to say that. And just what have you got coming up in the near future?
Well, I've just recorded the first album, which is almost finished. Just need to do a few little spots here and there. But we'll just have to see. It's pretty much a blank page at the moment. You know, I've got a few little festivals here, a few little gigs, but it is a blank canvas, and there's nothing. No real route is planned as yet.
Well, I will watch with interest, of course. Thank you very much, Joe Tilston.
Thank you.